What's going on, people? It's Emmanuel for Altenor Media. I'm here with a full season review reaction of 13 Reasons Why Season 2. Now, this Season 2 was great, in my opinion. I wasn't sure how they'd be able to complete a second season with the way the whole story went in Season 1, but they pulled it off great. Especially with the courtroom scenes, how each episode was a different character testifying in Mrs. Baker's case against Liberty High. So that worked out really well. And season 2 really made season 1 make so much more sense, because I was wondering throughout each episode just how significant were these people in Hannah's life to even be able to push her or contribute to her committing suicide. But season 2 reveals that she really had a lot of interaction with these characters, and they played a big part in her life, and a lot of them really did betray her. So it really made more sense from season 1 that she would make tapes for these people. For example, Courtney, who they had a very close relationship. We find out that Courtney was into her, and she really let Courtney down gently. She really cared about her feelings, and Courtney betrayed her. We find out that she was still talking to Justin after he sent the picture around, or he let Bryce send the picture around of her, and she really had genuine feelings for him, but he never wanted to be seen in public with her. Who else do we have? Even her parents, she found out her dad was cheating on her mom, so that perfect image of marriage and family and probably even love went out the window for her. So it was a lot, and it made more sense that she continued to go on a downward spiral. That's also another significant piece that I'll get into a little later. But it was interesting how with Hannah, the school's lawyers really tried to assassinate her character. So they really pointed out how many boys she was involved with and things like that. And it really showed that Hannah, she still had a life. She was still, living her life. And I guess that also makes it hard to recognize that someone is really in trouble, because Hannah was still living her life. She was still really social. We didn't really see that in season 1 really, but she was really out there and still making friends. She wasn't keeping friends, but she was making friends. So that also contributes to the lack of ability to really see someone who's struggling, because they can appear to be living a normal life, and she was. But this also points to how we really criticize the women for dating and relationships. They're trying to characterize her as a slut, but she's just a young girl trying to figure things out. So that was really interesting. As for shocking moments, I would say shocking episode was episode 6, where we find out that Hannah and Zach were actually in love. And this happened when Clay went away for the summer. And this was just a huge shock that, they were each other's first time, and they pretty much did it every day. And it looks like they were genuinely in love, but even then, Zach betrayed her. And this foreshadowed when she was working at the Crestmont, and Zach and Bryce and the baseball team came to the movies, and he didn't even acknowledge her. And they basically had to, she basically broke up with him because she knew where it was going. He was never going to acknowledge her. And when she looked at her phone was black. And that was a nice kind of segue into the following episode, which to me is, this moment was my favorite of the season. It was just so well shot. Everything was perfect. The acting was perfect. It was the scene after they had the party where they popped the Molly, where Jeff was trying to get Clay to loosen up. And they were coming down from the high at a diner. And this is where Hannah says something like, "Do you ever feel like you don't want to live anymore?" or something like that. Like, and then she says like everything is black. And then she looks up and she looks clearly at Clay, and Clay can see her reaction and the way her eyes are, her face, her look. Immediately, Clay knows that she's serious when she says this, that she doesn't want to live anymore. And you can tell in his reaction, the way his eyebrows just slightly lift up, and the way she kind of like her throat, she swallows. You could tell that she was serious and kind of letting him know, maybe as a crying out for help. And his reaction, you can tell that he knew she was serious. And I think this scene right there is the source of Clay's torment. Is that he didn't do, I guess he didn't do what he thought he should do to help her, because he knew she was serious at that moment. And that's pretty much what he feels guilty about. Even though in that moment he's still struggling with the fact that, she was after other boys and she was in love with Zach and she slept with Zach and things like that. He's tormented by that very moment. So I think that was a beautiful, beautiful scene, and it can explain why he's like mentally ill, because he's actually seeing Hannah, so he has to have some mental issues. But that really explains the mental issue. But with Clay and Hannah, it also shows just how complicated love and relationships are, even at that age. They could just never find each other. Even in the moments when they did, it just never worked out. So you just have to really go for what you want. It's not really about, I'm gonna have tomorrow or things like that. If you want something, you have to go after it, Clay. And it just shows how complicated love is at all times. Favorite character? I really liked Mr. Porter, even though I think he put too much blame on himself, because didn't she kill herself the same day that she went to his office? So he didn't really have time to react or to even follow up with her, I think. So I think Mr. Porter, he's a little too hard on himself, but he's done a really good job during season 2 of trying to really connect with other students and make sure this doesn't happen again. But he also has taken a lot of accountability for himself. He's willing to lose his job, and he's willing to tell the truth now. And when he hemmed Bryce up in the bathroom, he meant business. So I really like the whole Mr. Porter, because he has a family too. If he loses his job, that's going to hurt his family, and he's willing to do that. He's not trying to cover himself, and he's really taking on the baseball team and the coach to really try to change the culture of the school. He's trying to make a difference before his time is up, because as he said, he's on borrowed time at Liberty High. So he's trying to change the culture. So I really liked Mr. Porter. Least favorite character would have to be, I know he's popular, but Justin. Justin is trash. He let Bryce, he basically offered up Jessica to Bryce to be raped just so he could, just as appreciation for what Bryce has done for him throughout his life. But there's no redemption in that. For me, within that same town, within that same high school, I don't think there should be any redemption for Justin. So he's just trash, just like Bryce. So I wasn't feeling, him being just invited back with open arms. Now he's living with Clay's family. I'm not cool with that because he's just as guilty as Bryce is, in my opinion. Any other things? They also showed how Hannah's mom, also she wasn't perfect with dealing with Hannah. She would criticize Hannah's makeup. She would kind of minimize how Hannah was feeling. So there was just so much going on that really led us to that point. Even with Alex, the way he lied and said that Hannah was uncomfortable with his and Jessica's relationship. And that's really what dissolved the entire friendship, because that friendship also meant so much to Hannah. So it was so much going on that really explained season 1, why these people had tapes, because Hannah had close ties with a lot of these people, and they really did betray her. And if we look at Bryce, Bryce is interesting because he knows how to use his power and influence to control people around him, especially somebody like Marcus, who wants the connections. So he's willing to do whatever it takes to be in that circle because he knows Bryce. Bryce has the connections and the money. Same thing with Justin. Bryce is the one buying him basketball sneakers and things like that. So he feels he has to offer up his girlfriend to Bryce. And even Zach's family, they want to be associated with Bryce's family. So they're letting a lot of things slide. So they did good to explain, just how the evil money and power can keep everyone in check. Is there anything else I want to discuss about this season? I thought they were gonna go with the school shooting story, but in the end, they stopped Tyler from going through with it at the whatever dance it was. And also with Tyler, everyone is really ostracized Tyler like he did. Of course, what Tyler did was terrible, but there's people who did much worse. Look at Justin. What Justin did was absolutely just unforgivable, but everyone has welcomed him back. But Tyler was made to be a pariah for some odd reason over Justin, which is just crazy to me. But in the end, they stopped him, so it'll be interesting to see just where they go with it in season 3. See, because season 2 ended with they stopped Tyler from shooting. Clay took his gun and Tony drove him off away. Also with Tony, it was interesting how they really turned Tony into a human instead of just like that wise figure. They really gave him a character, flaws, strengths. They gave him a story. So that was cool also. So I could say I really enjoyed this season. The way they explained everything, the way they humanized everyone, they humanized Hannah. They really explained just how rape culture works and just how we tend to attack the reputation of the woman in order to discredit her. So this was a really, really good season. I don't really know how season 3 is going to turn out, so I can't really say I'm super excited for season 3 because I don't know which direction they're going to. I hope this doesn't just turn into a regular high school teen drama, with just normal storylines. I hope they keep up with this kind of same story. Action is just so dramatic. I hope they keep it going with that. Anyway, let me know what you thought of season 2 of 13 Reasons Why in the comments, and please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to Altenor Media. Once again, I'm Emmanuel. Peace.